Hey basketball players, welcome to the video today. Hope you all are doing well. You're sipping on some coffee today. I just made a tier list of basketball training drills. Now there's a lot of different basketball trainers out there, a lot of different philosophies for how to get players better. Today I'm gonna be ranking all the different drills, S tier all the way down to F tier. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video before we begin. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment below, almost to 4,000 subscribers, so super excited about that. First drill that we're going to talk about is 2-ball drills. 2-ball drills are not drills that I typically do in my workout, but I think that there are benefits to doing 2-ball drills. One of my training mentors was Super Handles John Hildebrandt. He would say if you can handle 2 basketballs at the same time, then it's going to be a lot easier to dribble 1 basketball. While I do think this is true, I also don't think it's completely game-like, and there's a lot of situations when you should be doing this. So some 2-ball drills are super easy and can be done for younger players. As you get older, it might turn into more of a warm-up rather than a development drill. So I'm gonna put these on B tier. All right, next one is stationary ball handling drills. Stationary ball handling drills are a must for almost every single basketball player. You need to be able to handle the ball, push the ball into the ground, and challenge your handle to be quicker and faster. But I think that there is a limit or a cap to stationary drills. You can only do so many combos. You can only work on so many drills to get your handle right. And once you get those, it becomes more like riding a bike. It's a lot easier to pick up on new things as you have a better handle. Say as you're coming up, this might be like an A to S tier, but I'm gonna put it next to the 2-ball drills for B tier. Next one we got is stationary shooting. I think that stationary shooting is important, but it's not as important as getting game-like reps. A lot of the times when I'm trying to train players, we need to get them more into game situations, whether they're coming off of a pin down catch and shoot, whether they're going off of a fade screen catch and shoot, whether they're getting to a 1-dribble pull up on the baseline. Like, I'd rather get players into game situations. Now, that's not to say that we shouldn't get shots up, we shouldn't work on our technique, but I would say that stationary set shooting in one spot, catch and shoot, is probably a C tier training. Now, next one is live small-sided games. I'm going to immediately put these into S tier right here. Small-sided games are where you create a basketball player from this standpoint. You have to be able to make decisions on the court, and have a small-sided game where it's 1-on-2 or 2-on-2, or you're in a situation where you have to attack from the baseline with a help defender rotating over and you have a teammate at the top of the key, or whatever. There's a million different scenarios, a million different situations you can put your players in, and I think that small-sided games are some of the best ways to develop your players. I think also that players need to have a foundation in order to get into those situations, but even then, some beginner basketball players, some players who are on the lower levels can still benefit from small-sided games. I'm gonna keep them in S tier. Next one is Mikan drills. Mikan drills are obviously one of the original basketball drills. George Mikan was the one who was shooting them. You're shooting layups on each side. I think that these are good for you as a player. It has a cap to it. There's no need to do Mikan drills when you get older. If you can do them already, you might be able to work on your touch a little bit, but there's also different ways to be able to working on spinning the ball into the basket or doing other types of finishes as well. I'm not gonna put them F, but I don't think any of these others are really gonna be F, so I'm gonna put it in F. Next one is cone drills. Cone drills are obviously when you're dribbling the ball, you dribble through a certain amount of cones and then you get into either a finish or a shot around the basket. While cone drills are something that I did growing up a lot, and it's something that trainers did a lot in the early 2010s and before that, I think that there is still a use for them, especially with younger players. But once you get older to a certain degree, you want to get into live situations. You want to get into less dribbling through a bunch of cones. Especially if you are a trainer, you need to work on footwork with the cones as well. And a lot of trainers don't do that. A lot of trainers just say, hey, here's 2 cones, dribble through the cones and then go get to the basket. Like, we need to be able to teach players, we need to be able to show them what their feet should do in certain situations. And also just being in a live situation against a live defender in a small-sided game, for instance, is way better for your development because you're going to be changing directions in a variable scenario rather than just cones that are just placed there. You guys definitely should get away from cone drills, but if you're young, those are still really good to develop your handle. I know I developed my handle through cone drills, so you can do so. I'm gonna put them in C. Next drill is 2-ball juggling. If you guys know what that is, it's where you have a ball in one hand and then you pass it down, pass it to the other hand, and then you keep going like this. And I'm gonna put it in F tier. Don't know why people do this. It might develop your hand a little bit, but you should not be focusing on that. All right, next one is semi-stationary footwork. This is something that I do a lot. My staples as a trainer, every single session that I do with players, we work on some sort of footwork. Whether we're doing crossover, whether we're doing drags, whether we're doing different types of pickups, whether we're doing these things, it's all in a semi-stationary setting. We're handling the ball, moving our feet within our certain area. This is great because in large group settings, you can work on semi-stationary ball handling. You don't need to be pounding the ball with your right hand doing stationary drills the whole time. We can get into 2 dribbles, putting our back foot back into an AI cross. Or you could be working on a drag into a cross jab, into a pull. It's a lot of different things that you can teach players through semi-stationary footwork. And that's something that I do with every single session that I do. I'm inclined to put this in the S tier because I think it has the impact that small-sided games have, because it gives players the foundation of footwork to use when they're on the court, and footwork is so important. So yeah, I'm gonna put it into S tier. Okay, next one we got combo moves. This is where you go up to a cone, you're handling the ball stationary, or you're working on some sort of combo. This means you might go through, behind, cross, or cross, in and out through, or handling the ball in that way. Now, I'm not gonna say that combos are the best thing in the world, because I think that combos can lead to over dribbling in games. You constantly work on going through, drop, through, behind, cross jab, like doing all those different moves is going to maybe develop a habit in some players' brains that this is a move, this is something that I have to do. So I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but I do think that it helps you develop your handle when you can handle through, cross, and then explode out into some sort of shot, into some sort of drive. I would say that it does help players develop. I do some combo work myself, usually with a partner, and I implement passing into it as well. Doing some sort of work with that can help a player develop, but that in itself is not going to give a player a handle. You need the semi-stationary footwork in order to be able to make it work. Because if you tell a player who's a beginner or intermediate player to go do through, behind, cross, like they're going to try to handle it through, and their handle might get better, but their footwork isn't going to be there, and they're not going to be able to transfer that skill over into a game. So I'm going to put that at a B tier. Okay, next one, semi-live drills. This is where you as the trainer might be making a player make a read. So a lot of times I have a player driving towards the basket, and then I might reach across their frame. They got to be able to get into some sort of pickup to finish. Now, this isn't live, so it's not a small sided game, but it does give players a little bit of more of a live situation than just doing the drills on air, is where you're just getting the reps up, which can help develop, but not quite as well as semi-live. So I would say semi-live is a good way to work. If you have interns, that's a great thing for interns to do, is play semi-live during the on-air drills and really help with players developing their skills. I would say put that between B and A. I'll put it between B and A. One is 3-man weave. It's one of the most common drills that players work on. It's not a skill drill, it's more of a team-based drill where we're gonna be passing the ball to one another. 3-man weave, everyone's done it before. I would say that this doesn't really develop your game. This does develop your conditioning. It does develop your court awareness, maybe your teamwork, calling each other's names out, rebounding, a cohesiveness. This might help with that. For skill development, it's definitely down there. If you're a trainer and you're running 3-man weave in workouts, I would forget it. At F. And then lastly, we're gonna go pull-up jumpers with a contest. Now, this is sort of similar to semi-live drills, but there's less of a decision involved. Rather, we're just getting hands up when players are shooting. I would say that this is a really good drill. It's not an S tier drill, but this is something that helps players at least feel like they're in a game. When they have a defender running out at them with a hand up, they got to be able to get their shots up. I'm going to put it in B. I hope you guys enjoyed that tier list. If you disagree with anything that I said, feel free to leave it in the comments. We're open to discussion. A lot of trainers out here have a lot of different philosophies. Some trainers love combos. Some trainers love doing semi-stationary, like me. Some trainers love small-sided games, and they'll start their workouts with small-sided games and they'll do it the whole time. There's certain ways that trainers like to train, and these are just my opinions. If you disagree with me, that's totally cool. It's up to you guys to decipher what you guys think. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave any questions in the comments. Also, if you are trying to improve your game, make sure you guys go to the first link in description. I dropped my app. My app has hundreds of different drills, a ton of different workouts, over 50 workouts and series in there. So if you're interested in improving your game and getting better before the season starts, make sure you guys go hit the link. And we'll see you guys in the next video.